Um, let's start with what happened to start everything off with. The WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Neville defeats Austin Aries, and this set a tone. This was actually a really, really good match.
It's so good that I didn't get to watch it.
It was a match that we saw a lot of high flying. We saw a lot of physicality. Neville plays that heel role exceptionally well, and Austin Aries did a great job selling a lot of the stuff that he was doing. This match played to everyone's expectations, or didn't play to their expectations. They exceeded it, gouging it, and was able to win by a victory because the referee never saw it.
Speaking of referees.
See? It always comes back to the refs. Stinking refs.
No matter what sport it is, the ref has to do something about it.
I can't believe it. They miss calls. They call the wrong call. Everything. Mojo Rawley wins the 4th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal with the help of Rob Gronkowski. What the hell just happened?
Because that was,
help me explain
that was
this one.
Plan B. Because Plan A was to have Shaquille O'Neal, but how that fell off with Big Show versus versus Shaquille.
Mm-hmm.
That fell off, so they had to find another celebrity sports athlete. So they went with Rob because they know that he's a fan of wrestling. So,
but what the heck are they going to do with Mojo Rawley? Is he now trying to be the individual competitor?
Look what they did, Baron Corbin. He's not really. He's lone wolf. He's been a lone wolf since he started. So,
but Mojo started with it as a tag team. He started with Zack Ryder. Well, a lot of people remember him with Zack Ryder.
Emma started with Zack Ryder.
It's true.
Oh,
hey, didn't they? Were finishing off their the pre-show, but this one was rushed. This one to me was rushed. The Intercontinental Championship between Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin. Dean Ambrose being the champion. This one seemed rushed. Like a rush, like, oh crud, we didn't realize we're running out of time and this is a pre-show, it's time to get done. Mm-hmm. So Dean Ambrose wins. Baron Corbin looks like was going to possibly win this one. It was a couple of kickouts. Nothing really exciting about this one other than Dean Ambrose wins again. So then it came to AJ Styles and Shane McMahon.
Start of the first
very first match
for WrestleMania.
And go figure that a guy that was part of the Attitude Era had to pretty much show the young guys how things were done. And I'm not talking about AJ Styles. I'm talking about everybody else in that locker room. So AJ Styles, who's a longtime veteran, has been around everywhere, and that's why I'm not saying that he's involved in that whole discussion I just had. AJ Styles and Shane McMahon put on a very, very good match. I would say that if anything, this was probably a 1A, 1B category on probably top matches, because I think we've got at least one or maybe two other matches that were probably really good. AJ Styles was fed off of Shane McMahon extremely well. Shane McMahon fed off of AJ Styles extremely well. This match, I could have watched it 3 different times. I could probably go home right now, watch it, and still be extremely excited at the way that this match was played.
Yeah, I mean, they worked well together. The moveset was pretty much on point. I feel bad for Shane McMahon. His 2 off the top ropes miss.
Yes.
But wow,
he looked like he overshot that one, by the way.
Which one?
The off the rope towards the announce table.
Oh, okay.
It looked like he overshot that a little bit, but still.
It was too high. Oh, it was too far when you.
Yeah.
And they made a good choice on making that the first match of the night because their crowd pretty much was high for both teams, for both players. And I would just have to say that pretty much was one of the top matches, if not overall match itself for the night.
And they brought in, the next match was Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho being the champion.
United States champion.
United States champion, thank you. And it turned out that Kevin Owens wins. He's the new U.S. champion.
He almost lost, but the finger saved Kevin Owens.
The one finger hits the bottom rope, and that's how he's able to kind of keep himself alive. Overall, another good match. Not going to say one of the best matches. I would say that this would probably be category probably 3. They probably knew that that whole relationship at this point was never going to work out. They probably had it. They probably were factoring that this match was already going to be scheduled for WrestleMania back 8 months ago.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you pretty much would see it no matter how you see it. I mean, that's why I believe WWE is pretty much predictable. I mean, you know what's going to happen. I mean, there's certain things that I told my brother before it happened, and I told him, just watch, this thing's going to happen. And move forward to what happened Raw with Kurt Angle. I told him that he's going to be the new GM a couple months ago, and look what happened. He was he's the GM. But going back to Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho, love the chemistry. Same thing with the AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. They pretty much were feeding off each other.
Speaking of Raw championship matches, the first one was Raw Women's Championship. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. Thank you. Why the hell was Nia Jax even in this match? I mean, I get why she got in, but why was she even in the match? She got eliminated first. She wasn't even a factor, and she got booted. Like, she beat up a couple of wrestlers to start, and then that was it.
Because for one, they want to make sure the players are pretty much healthy from Raw, especially from the women's side, because they don't really have that much on the women's side. Pretty much that's all you really have in that division,
right?
When it comes to Raw. So okay, let's add Nia Jax, and then we already know that she's not gonna do anything really. We knew that they're gonna triple team her no matter what happened. So my next question was, how they're gonna do it? They're gonna have Charlotte versus Bayley left, or it was Sasha Banks gonna turn on Bayley and Bayley's gonna lose her title that way, and whoever wins become for Flair and Banks to win the championship. But
moving on to the triple threat that was supposed to be tag team ladder match, and that was between Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the champions, versus Sheamus and Cesaro, versus, oh yeah, a couple of haters. Big Cass and Enzo Amore. And
New Day comes out.
New Day comes, starts clapping around, and that doing their New Day still sucks.
No, they don't. No, they don't. New Day rocks.
They're horrible. And they were, what the hell is even the point of being the host if you were only out twice? So they come out and they announce Jeff and Matt Hardy.
Delete.
The Hardy Boys.
Delete
and come back out. And they put on one hell of a show. I would say this would probably be, well, so I have a 1A, 1B category. But this would probably be the 2. This was actually a really good match as well. Everybody worked really well, and I thought it was a very surprising.
And it wasn't sloppy at all. Like pretty much what you expect when it comes to a tag team in a ladder match, where you're gonna they're gonna botch moves and all that. No, they were pretty much on point. And once they made that into a ladder match, like I said, I had a feeling. Well, I knew that the Hardy Boys was gonna come out during that time.
Yeah, it was. Well, at first, I think a lot of people were expecting. When they see New Day come out, they look like they were about to wrestle. In fact, you even heard the announcers go, man, they look like they're about to wrestle. It could have easily been the New Day versus the rest of those teams. But the Hardy Boys come out, they win the championship. They did it extremely well. I think it was a great match. I think that I would say that this was probably my second best match of the night right now. Well, you need to shut your mouth. Know your role. But then it goes to the John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice.
No lie, I fell asleep in this match.
I think half of America probably did, unless you love Total Divas or whatever the name of that other show is.
I love the Miz and Maurice better when they did that whole parody with that show.
Oh, absolutely. It was good. John Cena and Nikki Bella win. And then probably one of the most staged freaking proposals in my life I've ever seen. John Cena asked Nikki Bella to marry him.
Yep.
Here's my 1B. I like this match. It was hard for me to not put this as a number 1 category. Seth Rollins versus Triple H.
In a non-sanctioned match.
Yep. The non-sanctioned match. Once again, Seth Rollins, Triple H. They know each other's moves.
Love their intros. Their own. Okay, before we continue with this match, why is it now they didn't do any special intros for any of those wrestlers except for Seth Rollins and Triple H?
Sasha Banks came out in that car. She probably looked at it and said, 80 yards, I'm cool. I ain't walking down that.
I thought that was good. Well, I also read that they should did it with Undertaker. Let him use a motorcycle.
They put him in about 2/3 of the way and then had him come up. They looked at him. He didn't go over there going, no, I'm cool. They were like, no, we're cool. You're gonna go right here and you're gonna go up.
But it still took a long time for it to get.
They timed it. It was like 5.5 minutes before he could come out, or before the time it was all said and done. And he came up 2/3 of the way closer than anybody else.
Yeah, no, I love the Triple H with the escort with the police, cop cars and all that, and Seth Rollins with the fire on the stage. That was pretty much.
It was well done.
So I love this match too. Like the Shane versus AJ, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. They got story behind it. There's a chemistry between those two, and yeah, I love the match.
I think that's why I like these matches so much more. The Seth Rollins match, the Chris Jericho matches, things like that, because they have a history.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like right now WrestleMania over the last, we'll see, 4 or 5 years, it seems like they just kind of like, oh crud, we're at Fastlane, we better put some stories together. My fan favorite was me, because I'm a Randy Orton fan, defeating Bray Wyatt. But this made absolutely no sense. And to me, I think that Randy Orton only won this championship because he was jobbing to win. He got completely manhandled by Brock Lesnar. And so Vince McMahon said, hey, I owe you. So here's your championship. Have it for a couple months. You may lose it at Payback. I haven't decided yet. It's kind of what it kind of looks like to me.
Well,
and way to take away another Bray Wyatt run.
Well, Randy Orton will not lose his belt to Payback because it's a Raw pay-per-view.
Fair enough. I apologize.
And I love the effects.
When he was scrolling with his mind. He was doing all these
when the lights turn off, they put like earthworms and
maggots and cockroaches and
like,
whatever.
Oh, dude. The first and the referee was too slow, but after a while, like, oh, I'm supposed to get out the ring. Like, hurry up, ref, get out. But I love that. Like the rest, I like the chemistry between Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. I wish they put Bray Wyatt kept the title with him longer, but we expect Randy Orton to win that match. I believe after the Seth Rollins versus Triple H match, it just got boring. Like
it did.
The fans just got tired because it's like, okay, no more. There's no point in cheer. I mean, there's always that spots where people cheer, but yeah, it just got worse. Seeing Brock Lesnar versus
Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg was absolutely horrible. It was okay. We knew that he was going to lose. Mm-hmm. That being Goldberg, we understood that. He just had a little bit of a run, just that way I really think that they were putting this on so that way he can go in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. I really think that's kind of what it was pushed for.
For next year.
For next year.
I mean, that's gonna be a good one. They would have Goldberg
and Taker.
This is the reason why I hate Brock Lesnar the most because. Well, first of all, I gotta say that match lasted longer than a minute. So good job for both of them for handling that.
It lasted 5.
It's more than...
It's 5 times longer than any other match.
Yeah, it's put 3 together, even including the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
They lasted longer than that. But they pretty much had 2 moves set from both of them. They were doing spears and Suplex City.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was only 4 moves between them both. So yeah, it was... They have 5 if you want to count the pin.
They have more moves than they have for the WWE Championship game, which you could download on your phone to play.
So did this match. The Naomi versus Alexa Bliss versus Natalya versus Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Mickie James to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. Naomi wins this one. We kind of said that. We kind of said, oh, she's back. It's in Florida. Mm-hmm. She's winning it. Last one, Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. He defeats The Undertaker, and you saw him on Monday Night Raw. I watched the first part of Monday Night Raw, and he kind of
last night too.
Walks in and he says, "This is my yard now," drops the mic and walks out.
Lasted 5 minutes before you even say a word.
Yeah, because they were saying a lot of profanity towards that kid. He was getting yelled at. He was getting booed off the
I think that's the reason why I love Roman Reigns, just because of the heat he gets for no reason.
Yeah.
But
And I like Roman Reigns too.
I mean, he defeats Undertaker, but Brock Lesnar defeats Undertaker, and they praise Brock Lesnar.
I didn't.
I'm like, why? And he beat Goldberg, and they're blowing Goldberg because he's a part-time. Hello, Brock Lesnar is a part-time too.
Did you expect him to lose that last match, though? I mean, a lot of people still think that Roman Reigns should not have won that match. Which, by the way, that's my number 2 match of the night. And it's hard for me to do that because Taker's an all-time favorite, and I thought he did it. And actually, for being 52 years old, did a damn good job.
He didn't look like he aged at all. He looks like the same Undertaker from the beginning and now.
Well, there was times where Taker looked like an old Taker, but this looked like a good Taker. The last couple of Takers we've seen have been good.
Mm-hmm.
But he lost, and it's kind of like a part of my childhood just went with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's Attitude Era. And, the last one we've really got is Triple H.
Well, I mean, I like that Undertaker loss because, I mean, he's not knowing that. I bet you now he knows, like, he's not about winning. He just likes to be in that stage and helping the newcomers or just helping someone out, passing the torch. And so that's pretty much what he did with Roman Reigns was, here you go, I'll let you win. And pretty much, it's not where Undertaker looked tired or like against Brock Lesnar where he forgot to get up.
The overall grade.
I have to say a B plus to A minus.
I was at A minus.
Because it had, like I said, it had the matches. I love the matches where he went with. There's one or two matches. Not including the pre-show because pre-show is pre-show. But yeah.
I'm going B plus, and the only reason why I say that is it was a good WrestleMania all the way until about the last 2 matches where everything seemed rushed. They rushed things a little bit too much, but I still think that the matches had the good intent and good quality, but then you start to hit the last end and then it starts to get rushed.
I think after they did the when they did the music performance, that's when they just became okay, time to.
Yeah, now that's when they got rushed, and that's when things got screwy. So
But shout out to Tinashe, love her.
She did a great job.
I mean, if she didn't do a good job with the national anthem, she just looked smoking hot.
That's true too.